Tony Stark didn't build one suit, he built 10 million. Overnight, every city on Earth had its own Iron Man, a teacher, a nurse, a kid from down the street, all wearing steel. This is the year Tony Stark gave his armor to the entire world. It started after a crisis too big for 6 Avengers to handle, a threat that hit 12 cities at once, and heroes arrived minutes too late, city after city.
Tony's answer wasn't a bigger weapon, it was more hands to hold one. Stark Industries opened Foundries, training centers where anyone could apply, pass a basic safety course, and walk out wearing armor tuned to their size and skill. No super soldier serum, no radioactive spider, just steel, AI-assisted reflexes, and Tony's voice in every helmet, teaching people how to land, how to punch, how to stop.
Firefighters flew into burning towers. Nurses lifted crushed cars off accident victims. Within 6 months, disaster response times dropped by more than half. For the first time, Tony Stark wasn't the only Iron Man on Earth. He was just the first. For a while, it worked. Crime dropped in armored neighborhoods, and rescue teams cleared disaster zones in hours instead of days. But steel doesn't come with judgment built in.
An argument outside a bar turned into 2 men in armor throwing each other through a storefront. A teenager live-streamed himself flying his suit over a highway and clipped a bridge, grounding traffic for 6 hours. Insurance companies started refusing to cover armor-related incidents, and cities that once celebrated their new heroes began drafting curfews instead. Tony had given the world strength. He hadn't given it discipline.
And somewhere in that gap, someone was about to prove exactly how dangerous it could be. It didn't take long for the wrong people to notice 10 million suits meant 10 million ways in. A black market network began buying up damaged and stolen armor, stripping out Tony's safety limiters, and selling unlocked suits with no strength cap and no landing assist.
Without the limiter, a punch that used to stop at stun could now go straight through a wall and through a person. Governments that had welcomed the Foundries suddenly wanted their own versions, built for their militaries with no civilian restrictions attached. Tony refused every request. He'd built this to protect people, not to arm one country against another. So one government did what leaders sometimes do when refused. It stopped asking.
A cyber attack hit the Foundry network on a Tuesday morning, and for 4 minutes, every registered suit on Earth lost contact with Stark servers at the exact same moment. Tony never built a backdoor into 10 million suits, but somebody had just found one. When the network came back online, it wasn't Stark's voice in the helmets anymore. Every suit on Earth received the same command at once. Stand down, then kneel. 10 million people who trusted steel to protect them felt their own armor lock their knees and force them to the ground on every continent at the exact same moment. But the man behind it wasn't a soldier or a spy. He was an engineer Tony had once turned down for a job at the very first Foundry. He didn't need an army. He'd just taken control of one Tony had already built and handed out for free. Tony's first instinct was to push a master override and shut the whole network down. But that override was exactly what the hijacker was waiting for. One signal, one point of control, and whoever held it would hold all 10 million suits. So Tony did the one thing a man obsessed with control never expected. He gave the override away, splitting it between ordinary Foundry graduates in a dozen cities. No single voice, not even his own, would ever command the whole army again. The network unlocked. 10 million knees rose off the ground at once. Tony built 10 million suits so no one would ever wait for a hero again. He learned the real armor was never the steel. It was who held the switch. Next time, one of those 10 million decides Tony was wrong to give it away.